Yo, 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 what's up? Another episode of Slightly Unqualified. I am your host today, the good looking one, Con. I got with me the old man, Andrew, down below, and the one, the only, the GOAT, Matt. Say what's up, Matt. There we go, there we go. So, boys, what have you been up to? Are you getting into trouble, staying out of trouble? What you been up to, Andrew?
Here he goes.
No, I'm just kidding. You guys thought I was muted. You thought I
No,
was
nobody
muted.
thought
Oh,
that.
nobody
Nobody
thought
You
thought that.
You
thought
look
I
like a
was
fish.
muted.
You were just doing this. That's it. That's all you were doing.
There's no fish. No, I'm doing pretty good. No complaints. Pretty solid week. Excited for the weekend and 4th of July. Getting out of the heat, kind of. Going up north, staying in a cabin, going to a river, relaxing, family, all that good stuff. So tomorrow can't get here soon enough,
Yeah, dude.
but it's been a good
That's what I'm
week.
saying. So camping, you guys gonna do like legit camping, or are you guys gonna do like that?
No, I said cabin.
Oh yeah.
Thanks
Oh
for
yeah,
listening.
cabin. But yeah, you're gonna just sit there and drink a little cocktail, or you're gonna
Yeah.
what are you gonna do, Andrew? What's your drink of choice when you're
Drinking what
chilling?
now?
What?
A cocktail?
No. No.
Andrew's
I
drinking
don't
that
drink.
without the
I
tail
don't
part.
drink.
Okay,
Ooh.
so what's your
Oh,
beverage of
oh.
choice? Is it a Dr. Thunder or a Fanta? What's your chill out drinking? What's your one?
I do like a good Mountain Dew. So my wife has gotten me on this kick though. So there's this soda shop place that she likes to go to, and there is a drink called the Cokie Mango, and it's Coca-Cola or Diet Coke. It's a pump of passion fruit, mango puree, and coconut
Oh my god,
creamer.
that is way too long.
It's so good though.
Come
When
on,
somebody
man.
says, "What's your drink of choice?" you don't go to a niche thing you can get at one place. What is your drink? Your drink you can get almost anywhere of choice.
Yeah.
Right now, I would say it's the
not a
zero
hard question.
sugar green Monster.
Andrew, you're getting old as shit when it comes to a Mountain Dew Coke. That's it. That's how you answer. And the fact that you're a sugar-free, depending on the weather, if it's sunny.
Oh, it's so
come
good
on,
though.
bro.
It's so good.
I bet it is, Andrew, but you didn't have to give us a 4. I felt like I was watching Lord of the Rings. That's how long your answer was.
Well, don't ask me next time.
Well, we'll be sure not to. Trust me.
But I do need to try that drink you're talking about with the coconut.
I'm telling you, man, it's life-changing.
What's
I
it called?
bet it is.
It's called Cokie Mango. You want me to list the ingredients again? I just bought them all on Amazon.
No, we're good.
We got
on Amazon.
Coca-Cola. We got mango puree.
I muted him. Okay. No, all right.
See myself out.
No, I'm just kidding. So what have you been up to, Matt? Besides buying pina colada drinks?
Buying it
Like this
all on
guy.
Amazon is crazy.
Yeah, you have an issue, brother.
Quit. How much? Never mind. I'm not even gonna say.
$25.
I know you make enough money, Andrew. Just go buy a freaking drink. Quit making it at home.
God.
Dude, I'm like this week, me and my wife, we've been looking at like trying to find a used commercial grade soda fountain dispenser. We want to turn like our wet bar into like a legit like got your drinks.
See, Andrew, here's the thing. I say that not for you to go on a tangent about something else. It's just to tell you to buy the damn soda. I don't need an explanation or excuse about nothing else. Buy the
I'm starting
soda.
to like it. I'm starting to
Buy the
like it now,
soda.
Andrew. Now
Yeah,
I'm
see?
intrigued. And I'm intrigued now. about
Imagine
the wet
you're
bar.
in the kitchen and you're like, oh, I could go for a drink. And right next to your fridge, you have a beverage dispenser with ice all ready to go. Because right now I got the soda stream. It's good, not great, but I want the real deal. I'm even willing. I've been searching. I found the syrup that comes in the bag that's like a gallon.
I'm gonna use it for about 2 weeks. You're gonna
Probably.
use it for
Take a
2
couple
weeks.
pictures of it and then let it
You're
dry
gonna
out.
use it for 2 weeks. You're not gonna use it again. You're gonna invite me over for drinks or for movie night one night. And be like, look what we got. We can do this now, even though you haven't done it in 6 months since you've invited me over.
100%.
So my week, gentlemen, has consisted of
Good job, Andrew.
work has been very not busy, but busier than usual. But on top of that, I'm thinking on a new venture. So I've been recording a video every day pretty much. Nothing crazy, just like TikTok 2 or 3 minute videos. Haven't put them out yet. Gonna edit them tonight, I think, and then release them. So that's coming soon. As you can see, my wall has stuff on it in the back here. It's blurred out still. It's gonna always be blurred out, but that background right there you see is gonna be part of what's going on with my other videos. Once I have those, I'll let y'all know, of course. But with that being said, just a boring week. Nothing crazy happened. I started rewatching The Flash because I just missed Grant Gustin's Flash after watching Ezra Miller's. So that's what I've been doing. I'm trying to find new shows to watch. There hasn't been much that's really intriguing me. So much so that not even Secret Invasion's intriguing me. I haven't watched the first episode still, and me being a big Marvel fan, it's disappointing for me to say that, but maybe I'll watch it tonight. Who knows? But my week's been boring. Nothing crazy. Nothing great. I think the highlight of my week is not seeing Andrew for a week every week.
There it is. Can I tell you guys a secret? Secret time?
No, but I feel like you're going to tell us anyway.
I'm going to tell anyways. I feel like the interwebs needs to know this. So I've never seen Squid Games. And I started watching Squid Games. Mm-hmm. And I like Squid Games for the gore. But I can't get behind anything else other than the gore. I don't know why it's so hard for me. Like the disconnected, like the dubbing. It takes me out of it. But I like it.
Yeah,
but it's hard.
Dude.
It's hard. I almost want to just turn it into Korean and just read the subtitles.
So like I got on a big kick a couple years back watching Korean horror movies and like crazy Korean style movies. And there's a movie called Battle Royale, and it takes place a couple years before like Hunger Games, and it has like kind of the same thing. There's this class of students, this one grade, and they get taken to an island, and then the teachers pretty much tell them when it's time to go, there can only be one person standing, and like they just go at it and like on some gruesome murders, dude. Like they tell them there's guns and swords throughout the island. Good luck, and it is disturbing on so many levels. But it was so good they made another one. It's actually pretty entertaining if you're into it. Terrible storyline though. Like acting is terrible, storyline's terrible, but it's gory and it's like very entertaining.
Yeah.
I did watch Elemental this week. That's a that's a highlight for sure. Freaking good movie. Really good.
It was good.
Really good. That's awesome. It's weird. It's not your typical Pixar film, but it's almost it's like your typical film. It's your typical kind of like romance film, but Pixar style, and Pixar does a really good job at it. I can't really explain it. Like you're gonna watch it, but this could be like this plot and the way it's written is like not it's not Pixar, but it's like in the style of Pixar. It's kind of hard to explain, but good movie.
You're doing a great job.
I would say an 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9 out of 10, maybe even 9 out of 10.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 for sure. But there's only 2 10 out of 10s in Pixar history. So that's the level they need to reach. They didn't reach that level.
I wonder why it didn't translate to like the box office, because you're now like the third person who's told me that the movie is really good, and in the box office it is getting demolished. You know what I mean? Like it's not coming through, but it's weird because the box office isn't showing it, but people I know who've watched it are like, dude, it's actually a really good movie. So that's what I'm like, I'm not understanding. You know what I mean?
It's going to be a second, third week film because of 2 reasons. Families can't really afford to go to the movies, and we're coming off of back-to-back releases of Spider-Man and then Flash. So Elemental is just in a weird spot. It'll be a second and third week box office thing. Now, even though it was pretty low, I don't even say it's that low, but it's low for Pixar standards. The box office, they beat the Flash.
Yeah, I saw that. That was crazy that they beat the Flash.
Yeah.
So speaking about movies, and this is kind of what one of the first segments we're going to get into, and this, I know segments kind of sound cliche, but I came across a couple lists of top horror movies, but these were IMDb, Rotten Tomato lists. So I started going digging, little here, little there, and I found a website that's called the Top 10, and they just list top 10 things of people's info. So people submit on the top 10, and then the numbers change. Movies go around. So I found a couple of interesting ones I wanted to bring up to you guys. And I want you guys to tell me if this was overrated or underrated on this list. Okay. So
what's the category?
The category is just going to be movies. It's just movies. Do you guys agree with overrated in the number 1 position being Avatar?
Totally.
The first Avatar?
Absolutely. Hands down. It's not even good. Okay, so go ahead, Matt. You can say whatever it is before I get into my rant.
No. You clearly have.
You have some passion about
10
this.
years worth of anger built up for this.
Yeah, let us hear it, bro.
I have so much anger that I haven't even seen the second one yet.
Yeah, you're dumb.
No, so I really haven't seen the second one. I need to, but
You need to.
It's when I first saw it, I was like, okay, the visual effects cool, but like the story, like you just got it's Pocahontas meets Halo, and like you got the Halo vehicles, you got the story of Pocahontas and aliens.
You're making it sound great for the record.
But I've already seen that story.
You've seen Pocahontas Halo with weird creatures in it before? I haven't seen it before until Avatar.
No, I've seen the story of Pocahontas, and I've seen the vehicles of Halo, and now I've seen them both together. And guess what? It wasn't that great.
It's a new experience then. You could take any movie, and say it's this mixed with this. So I've seen it before. But you haven't because it wasn't mixed before until this. Like that's such a bogus argument.
You could say he said bogus.
You could say it's a plot failure or it's kind of boring because
it's not. It's like a 1-for-1 copy of Pocahontas.
Damn.
Pocahontas is a 1-for-1 copy of Ferngully.
Oh, I mean Ferngully is good though.
Yeah, Ferngully is a classic. So with that being said, before we get deep into this list, what would you guys' definition of being overrated or underrated be? Like if I tell Matt, nah, the Flash was underrated, or what would you say? Like what's your definition of over or underrated?
Well, if it's where it's supposed to be at. I mean,
I have a pretty good definition.
That's it. That's my thing. Do I feel the movie's where it's supposed to be at? Yes or no?
Okay, what's yours, Andrew?
Perceived as better than it is, or perceived as not as good as it is.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. Okay, so
literally just saying. He literally said over under with different words.
Exactly.
I know, and it sounded good.
But I threw perceived in there.
Yeah, I saw that. I had to Google it. So the second
he's about to get kicked out and muted after this.
He definitely has your ticket today,
and I haven't even said anything about the movie. I didn't get to say anything yet.
I want to hear.
He was like, so second film.
Moving on.
It nailed it. So tell me what's your take on this, Matt, of it being the #1 overrated movie?
Yeah. So I need to see what comes after it because
Titanic.
Better than Titanic for sure. If it comes anywhere, like if The Godfather is like 5th, this is like 1st, then overrated. But this film transcended and changed cinema. So from that perspective of like what it brought to like cinema and the theaters going forward after it, it literally changed a todo, everything. And the story wasn't bad, and comparing it to Pocahontas is like not the worst thing in the world. It's one of the most loved films of all time. So I liked it. If I had to say over or under, I would say it is probably over, but I think it's better than Titanic. So I'm with the ranking system is already on par for me.
Yeah. So these are fan, and these are like people saw the list and then they commented and people liking and disliking. That's how this is made. This isn't made by like critically acclaimed people. These are just fans people are bringing up. Second one being
anyways, do they really know?
Yeah, it's true. The one that interests me the most was the third overrated movie is Frozen on this list.
The third movie, not overrated. The third movie is Frozen.
No, the third movie on this list is over. They're saying is overrated.
Oh, so this list is a list of overrated things?
All overrated movies.
Okay. Okay. I thought you were telling me that they're ranked. This is their rank.
Yeah. So
is it over and underrated?
No, I'm sorry. So this list here is all overrated. So Avatar was overrated, #1.
I disagree completely. Avatar is right where it's supposed to be, in my opinion.
Okay. So then #2 was Titanic. #3 is Frozen. #4 was Black Panther with like a grip load of comments. After reading them, after reading them, I kind of agree with a couple things,
You got
saying
swayed.
that it was mediocre in acting, in the character development. The character development, I didn't
What are they talking
agree
about?
with. I didn't agree with, but some of the acting now, like watching it again, I was like, it's kind of cliche. It didn't really like. I get it, but to put it on 4 or even put it on the top 25, I don't agree with. Like, I don't think it should be on the top 25 of overrated movies.
It's not even. It's not overrated. Period. Not even like
Yeah.
on top 25. It shouldn't be on an overrated list.
Yeah, so that's the one I was reading the
So I
comments.
wonder what
like,
makes them like. Is it like
You just said
the amount of money that it draws in, or
no.
no. So this list is just
public opinion.
All public opinion, right? So number 5 being The Lion
bunch
King.
of idiots?
The Lion King.
The
Yeah.
Lion King. That's a great movie.
Exactly. So I was
Wait,
like,
wait, which one are we talking about? We talking about the live action or the
OG? We're talking about Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Get him out.
You know what I'm
Get
saying?
him out. This list, I hate it.
The number 6, and this is probably going to be. I'll go to number 10, and then we'll go to the underrated. Number 6 was Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump's a classic. Is it? Is it overrated?
Like it's overrated. Like who you hear today being like,
overrated.
you know, it's a great movie. It's changed culture forever. Forrest Gump. Nobody's talking about.
The movie's overrated.
Nobody's talking about Forrest Gump.
That movie's
it's
overrated.
great, but nobody's talking.
I like the movie. I like the movie, but overrated. Yeah. The Wizard of Oz. Do you think The Wizard of Oz is an overrated movie?
No.
I think it was. I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah. Twilight.
Hold on. We got to stop for a second, because if we're talking about like movies that change Toto, like, come on, man. Like, Wizard of Oz is in that same book as Avatar. You got.
Did you hold on? Did you not hear me say that I think it's not anymore? Or did you miss that last part of my sentence? I thought it was, but now I think it's not. You see how that works?
He was ready to fight. He was ready to fight.
I was educated, so then I rescinded my thought and changed it.
Okay.
So yeah, Wizard of Oz. In the comments on it
today.
are
you're my son.
So
my
this
son.
is the comment somebody put, and a lot of people clicked like they supported this. Movie is creepy and strange.
For what?
For Wizard of Oz, creepy and strange. I was like, that's kind of weird. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think it's creepy. I don't think it's necessarily creepy and strange. I just think it's from a different time.
No, them monkeys are creepy.
It's from a different time. What are they supposed to do?
I don't care what time.
How do they do it better? They couldn't.
Them monkeys look weird. I'm talking about the ones in the film.
All right, so this is going to be the list of the top 10 most underrated movies. I almost don't agree with the top 5. I don't know. I think Matthew's going to demolish this list right now. I was a little bit embarrassed to even read it, but I'm going to. The first one is being and jump in,
pansy.
And jump in when you want to definitely destroy something. Number 1 being the most underrated movie is The Lost World Jurassic Park. Do you guys feel like that's an underrated movie?
I feel
Which
like
one's
it's
Lost
underrated.
World? Which one's Lost World?
That's number 2.
I've never seen it.
Isla Sorna.
That's one. That's
Jeff
okay. That's when they have
takes the lead.
That's when they have the little girl in the cabin.
Yeah.
Underrated?
I think it's underrated.
I gotta go back and watch it. I don't remember it.
Okay, well, hold on, Andrew. Where do you out of 10? Where do you put that movie?
Like how much I enjoy it, or we're talking about underrated, overrated?
I'm asking you your opinion out of 10. Where do you rank that movie? I don't care about the list right now.
I would put it at a 7.
And where do you think it's at?
Well, in terms of underrated, or
if you think it's underrated, that means you think everyone thinks it's what number?
I think people probably think it's a 4, maybe 3 or 4.
Okay. With that being said,
yeah,
that's where it's supposed to be, about a 4, in my opinion.
No,
man, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's if I can remember this movie, I thought it was terrible. I thought it was like a 3 or 4.
I think you guys are getting confused with the third one. The third one's horrible.
I like
is that the one with? Is that the one with the dude from Wedding Crashers?
No, that's number 2.
Yeah, where she does like the gymnastic stuff on the thing. And
that's 2. That's 2.
That movie was trash, dude.
No, I mean, they had that. You listed the worst scene in the movie.
That's the one that is ingrained in my head because it sucks.
You'd be like, oh yeah, that movie with the 2 T-Rexes that ripped that guy in half.
Oh, that happens because the shitty gymnastics thing got me. You know what I mean? So, anyways,
that's literally the worst scene in the movie.
Yeah, I know it's terrible. Maybe give the movie a 3. Number 2 would be Castaway.
Underrated?
Underrated. Castaway's a really good
Ooh,
movie,
That's a good
but I
no.
don't.
movie.
That's where it's
It's a
supposed to
good.
be.
Yeah, but I don't think it's underrated. I think it's
No,
exactly
people have
where
it where it's supposed to be, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie.
I don't know if I fully understand this concept that you're talking about.
What are you confused about, my son? Let
Where
me
people
enlighten
have
you.
it. Like, again, if I say it's a 7, you believe that everybody else or the majority is going to say, yeah, that movie's a 7.
Are you asking me that?
Yes, clarify for me, Dad.
Okay, so generally speaking, when someone says Castaway, they talk about it in high regards, correct?
7.
Yeah.
No, I'm not asking you what it is. People usually, I'm saying,
I'd compare it to it's probably around the same as Jurassic Park: Lost World.
you see the problem. You see the problem now with your logic.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm trying to get this around your head, and you're too busy not thinking about what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, listen, Chief. Listen closely. Look into the camera. Keep your hands away. Keep your hands away from your lap area. Okay. When people say a movie, right? Let's say Godfather, for example.
Mhm.
Everyone pretty much synonymously agrees it's a 9, if not a
Like
10 out of 10.
2.
Okay, we agree there. 9, 10 out of 10.
2.
So when somebody says that movie's overrated, it means that they think it should not be at a 9 or a 10. It should be at like a 5 or a 6 or something like that. Anything below a 9, pretty much. When someone says a movie's underrated, like Jurassic World, and like consensus says that movie's not very good, it's in that 4 to 3 range. Do you agree it should be there? If you think it shouldn't be there and should be higher, it's underrated. If you think it should be there or should be lower, then it's overrated.
Okay. I think I understand.
Got it.
Thank you for the clarity.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't hard to understand, but
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what was crazy to me is the number 3 movie is The Great Mouse Detective.
underrated?
Yeah, it's underrated.
100%.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie.
Listen
dude.
to me. That is the best Disney film they've ever come out with, and it's not close. Okay, that
Dude,
is
that movie's
8 out of
good.
10, if not 9 out of 10, and they have not reached peak Disney since then.
So do you think it's underrated or overrated, Andrew? Remember, think about it. He just shit all over you, Andrew. Tell me.
I know. I'm thinking about it really hard.
The
I'm trying
thing
not to
is-
mess this up.
The thing is, per Andrew's logic and rules, he can't think it's a good film because it's basically Sherlock Holmes but a mouse.
No,
Therefore, it can't be that good because I've
no,
seen it before.
I think it's a great movie. Great movie.
Damn, Andrew, fuck him up, dog. I mean,
No.
yeah, I think it's great. The movie, all the comments are like it's one of the greatest underrated movies of all time.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
it's-
underrated. I think it's right where it needs to be. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say anything bad about The Great Mouse Detective.
But the problem is the majority hasn't seen it. And if it's that great, everyone should see it.
Yeah, that's true. Some people have never seen that movie.
It's like if Steven came to us and said, "Oh, this anime film from Korea or Japan is really good, 10 out of 10," but nobody's seen it. To him, he's going to be like, "This should get more attention because it's freaking good."
Definitely. I get
Therefore,
what
it's
you're saying.
underrated.
All right, so that was the underrated movie list. I was like, okay, I want to see what TV is. What do you think the number 1 overrated TV show is?
Breaking
Games.
Bad.
What'd you say, Matt?
Well, is it like cable TV or just
Just
include
cable
streaming?
TV. This is
So doesn't include streaming?
It just says TV shows.
Oh.
I guess
I probably
yeah,
give
there's
you
streaming.
three guesses.
Streaming. So I
Number
mean, I
1.
would say Breaking Bad, Squid
Okay.
Games, or SNL.
The Walking Dead. Throw that in there too.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's overrated. It is Family Guy. Family Guy on this list has
That's weird. It's a weird place. It's
yeah,
a
it
weird place
is.
to see it. Yeah.
And the second one is the Kardashians. Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Don't
Definitely.
recognize that as a TV show.
Rest in peace to that show.
Is it over?
I thought they just announced like a new season.
Not with that show, no. Different
This show,
But it's
I
on
want to
E!
hear what your
or on
guys'
Hulu.
thoughts.
And by the way,
5,
I don't think it's overrated. It's if you watch it, it's actually pretty
The
entertaining to watch. Yeah. For the record.
somebody clip that.
Look, look, say what you want. Say what you want. But I'm on the majority here because they get millions and millions and millions and millions of people to watch it every single time.
For sure.
You two are the outcast. Okay? I'm the one saying, hey, I'm with the majority. It's actually an entertaining show, believe it or not. Especially, dude, it was peak when you saw
Oh, it's
when
peak.
listen, when you saw Kanye West, Lamar Odom, and Travis Scott at the same dinner table, you were just like, I just want to know what happens in this situation right now.
That is true. That is true. I want to know what you guys' thoughts on number 5 being Friends as the most
Overrated.
Overrated.
That should be number 1. That's the most overrated show of all time.
All time.
It could be one or two interchangeable with Seinfeld.
Yes, Seinfeld hits the overrated mark a lot.
Seinfeld
There's some key
changed the
episodes.
game.
I
There's some
hate him. His voice
Seinfeld.
so
listen.
obnoxious.
It's no Martin or Fresh Prince, but
Oh, not even close.
without Seinfeld, there is no Martin or Fresh Prince.
Dude, Martin was a banger, bro. I love Martin.
Martin's the greatest sitcom I've ever seen in my life.
Andrew, what do you think is the number 1 overrated show? Did you say Seinfeld?
Yes.
Yeah, he said Seinfeld.
I hate that man.
What about you, Matt? What would you say the number 1 overrated show is?
I would say what did I say before. I just said it. What are we talking about before this? Friends. Okay.
Well, Friends.
So
Friends.
And then after that, for me, I'm gonna get freaking killed for this. But Game of Thrones.
And Game of Thrones is number 4 on that list.
For overrated, it's overrated.
Overrated. Yeah. The ending just shit their pants. And the end of that, it was just terrible.
And you pitiful little souls who had no lives for 8 years got disappointed for no reason.
Yeah, it was terrible. All right. So these ones are underrated, and I've never seen any of these shows. I've heard of them and never seen them. The first one being Supernatural. Have you guys ever watched Supernatural?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard it had a huge following. Didn't really care for it. I know it's about like demons and all that other stuff.
It's still running.
Is it still running?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, good for them, man. Make that money.
So AT&T, we had a TV in the back, and it used to just be on. I don't know how or why, but and like I catch it during lunch. I'm like, no, this isn't that bad. It's not that great either though. So I mean, I don't know if it's underrated, but
yeah, but it's comments like this: best show ever, casting crew amazing. I was
like he knows the casting crew personally.
Yeah, right. And there's some
production ever.
It says the actors have so much chemistry, nailed. And then so it just goes.
They've been doing it for like 30 years. Of course they're gonna.
I know, right? And the two main guys, they play brothers. So if I didn't have chemistry, it'd be a real issue there.
It wouldn't work.
Have you guys ever watched a show called Firefly?
No, but I've heard this.
Yeah, they say it's one of the. A lot of people.
It only had like one season.
Really? Another one is Angel.
Like
number 5 is that show Angel. Never seen it.
Lump that in with Buffy. No.
Yeah,
Buffy.
Trash.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, but like, what do you mean lumping it with Buffy? Like,
it's like the same story.
Yeah.
They correlate together. It's like Arrow.
It's a spinoff. He's a character from Buffy.
That show's terrible. I don't agree with number 7 being Futurama. I don't think it's underrated. I think people put Futurama exactly where it is. It's a good show, but it's not underrated by any means. Do you guys ever watch Scrubs? Number 6.
Yeah, Scrubs is good.
Yes, I like Scrubs. That 70s show is number 10 of underrated.
Wildly underrated.
I was trying to find a show that's a banger that people, and then after that, it gets into like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It gets into Malcolm in the Middle, Rocko's Modern Life.
That's a good one.
That's a great show. Yeah. So these were just some of the over and underrated things that I came across. The horror list was terrible. Like I didn't even want to pull it up. There were just weird Sharknado, and I was like, "What? Who is scared of Sharknado? This is a weird sci-fi movie." But yeah, that's what I had for the over and underrated. To be honest with you, I think a lot of.
Let's stick right here real quick. What are shows that we think are underrated?
I think a lot of people still to this day, I feel like a lot of people don't give the Peaky Blinders enough credit. It doesn't get mentioned on some of the greatest shows of all time. I'm not saying it is the greatest show of all time, but it should be up in the top 10 of most people. And I know a lot of people who've never watched that show. That's a TV show I would say is probably super underrated. Okay. Overrated. I was Breaking Bad. I'm not a big fan of Breaking Bad. I thought it was terrible acting. for overrated?
Mhm. I think an underrated show, based on the newly learned definition of underrated, brought to you strictly from the goat, would be a show called
You can just call me Dad.
Counterpoint.
Counterpoint?
Counterpart. J.K.
TV show?
Simmons. Yep, J.K. Simmons. It's on Amazon Prime. Very cool premise. Even if you just watch like the first episode, it's like it's up there with like Inception and Tenet kind of vibes, if you will. But definitely more people need to know about that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, it looks good. I like the cast. The cast looks really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks like a good one. And it's on. You said it's on Prime.
Prime.
I'm gonna have to check that out. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt, you were saying that you haven't watched any of the new Secret Invasions.
I've not.
Why? What about Secret Invasions is not pulling you in? Is it
I blame
Nick
Marvel.
Fury?
No,
you
it's not
blame
Nick
Marvel.
Fury. I blame Marvel because, I mean, to like their credit, like what they're trying to do. I know nothing about the show, outside of like what it's based off of. But I got really turned off when the writer came out 2 weeks ago and said that Marvel instructed them not to read any Secret Invasion issues to prepare for this. So that really threw me off, which means that it might not be anything like anything like what I'm looking at, or like what I'm used to. Which it's
True.
I mean, that's a what's the word? That's an entitled fan opinion, from someone who usually isn't very entitled when it comes to these kind of things. But Secret Invasion, I hold near and dear to my heart because it's a very special comic book run.
Great storyline.
But then I saw also this week how there's dismembered parts of certain things and people that they bring back as scrolls to like create one super scroll, which again, super scroll is probably going to end up being the big bad at the end of the show, but I don't want him to be put together that way. I want him to be kind of a gladiator from his planet that wants his people to thrive, making an amalgamation of things become an abomination. We've seen that many times.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I will tell you what is intriguing is Nick Fury specifically. He looks like he's very like defeated and very like just out of his element, and almost like Nick Fury, the guy who knew and saw everything, doesn't know what's going on for once. So I'm interested to see how they do with that, and I will watch it probably this week at some point. I don't know if Maria Hill's in it. I don't know how she's in it. So she's a good actress and she plays Maria very well. So I'll watch her for that as well. I don't know how I feel about Don Cheadle in there. There's just certain things I'm like, I don't know. And the thing is, like, the stakes are like, how high can the stakes be if a scroll isn't someone like Peter or Strange or someone like that? And I think they're not going to go that route. So, it'll be good for the background of like what happens with like with the shield. And someone's dog is barking loud. It'll be good to see like what they do with the background of the shield and what I'm sure they're gonna bring Valentina in so they can bring up the Thunderbolts. So interested to see how that works as well. But I don't know. There's just not a lot in terms of like the continuity that's gonna like intrigue me to come watch it as an MCU project.
Yeah.
As a standalone show, if I take it as that, which I will, then I'll watch it. But right now in my head, it's weird. This is the first time it's happened to me in a long time where I can't get out of my head what I thought it was going to be and what it is. Which you guys both know, I don't usually go with that kind of mentality.
Yeah,
I don't want to go in there with that. Yeah, I don't want to go with that kind of mentality and then I rate it incorrectly and just bash it because I want this certain standard. So I think this week I'll probably get into it and go with a clean slate of my mind. I'm giving it a couple weeks, but I've seen people say it's good. I mean, I've seen nothing but good things about it.
I fell asleep on the first episode. If that makes you feel any better,
you fall asleep on Aquaman too, and it's a pretty.
No, I didn't fall asleep in Aquaman.
And you still haven't watched Shazam either, so
the second Shazam I haven't seen. Saw the first one.
I thought it was a pretty good spy show. Like for if you go in there thinking, the stakes are not high. It's more of a vendetta kind of movie. not so much of like world domination. They're trying to give off that vibe of world domination, but I got more of the vendetta feeling in a spy thriller. Did you get the same thing, Andrew? Kind of
Mm,
like a
no,
old
I
school kind of
guess
vibe.
similar. So the beef that I have with it is it it doesn't feel like the rest of Marvel. It feels like
Mm,
this is a show. Let me sprinkle some Marvel characters, sprinkle some
yeah,
people, and that's where it's hard for me because, to Matt's point, there's not, at least from what I've seen, there hasn't been anything stake wise, and I don't anticipate there being anything too high to where it's like ground shaking, earth shattering,
yeah,
and and that's kind of what it needed to be Secret
Secret
Invasion.
Invasion.
yeah. Right.
Like
Someone needed to die, and then this is how it came out. And
yeah, and so it just and I like what I've seen, but I don't like what I've seen as a Marvel
yeah,
piece. Like it's a very cool concept if it was like not the scrolls.
yeah. If it was just like them and Hydra, I think it would be so much cooler. You know what I mean? I know Hydra's done, but like
Mhm.
that kind of vibe, I think would be way cooler.
Hydra's
But
never done.
I know Hell Hydra. I don't know. Next year at the CDL, he's going to take.
Oh God, not what I meant.
I know what you mean. What is it? But it is. I do like the thriller of the detective kind of spy kind of thing. I do love that Nick Fury is slow. He's not. I'm one step ahead of everybody. Like, and it's just like, really, you knew that guy was going to do that at that. Nick Fury does look slow. I don't. Sometimes I think it's more of a show for him. Um, but
It's
It
gonna
is.
be a show for him.
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
it's about him.
Samuel Jackson's the executive producer. Better
No, no,
be.
no, no. I'm not saying it's the show about Nick Fury. I'm saying he's putting on a show
Oh,
for
okay,
people
gotcha.
around him who think he's slow. The reason why I say that is because every turn, someone's going, "Oh, Fury looks like he lost his step. Fury looks like he lost his step." The lady that he talks to, remember
Mm-hmm.
the clock lady? I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
not to give away stuff. And then even Hill, you lost your step. You lost your step. The drunk guy at the bar talking shit to him. Um, I feel like he looks like he lost his step, but I don't think he truly did. I haven't seen episode 2, so I could be completely wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but um I don't feel like it's a world-ending like superhero have to get involved kind of story though. That's why I feel like it doesn't matter. But then I also feel like this is a show building up for the Marvels. Is it called the Marvels? The new
Mm-hmm.
one? I feel like this show is just a long intro to introduce that. I don't know why I have this feeling.
You should.
It should, but I just have this feeling that we're not going to get a great story because it's just going to go build up, and then you have to watch the Marvel movie to finish the storyline, and it's going to kind of suck to invest. You
Yeah,
know?
I don't think Marvel's gonna do that. They're very adamant about in the beginning anyway. Feige's very adamant about keeping these things like the shows,
Separate.
uh, not separate per se, but you don't have to go in there looking or see anything to know what's going on, and
Yeah.
vice versa.
WandaVision.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that was
Sorry.
WandaVision shows exactly what happens that leads to that moment. You don't have to know anything about WandaVision outside of them loving each other. And then in episode 4 and 5, they show the flashback of why Wanda did what she did. So it explains itself. Anyways, so that my big thing too is Fury looks like Fury in the Marvels and looks like this here.
yeah.
So where do we leave? Like where's the timeline with this whole situation?
Mm-hmm.
And does Fury just like clean up and go back to space after like knowing that scrolls are down here on Earth?
Yeah,
Like,
and it breaks down saying that he has not left since Endgame. He's been in space since Endgame.
yeah.
It says that like he's straight that he does not leave, and everybody goes, man, what got you to leave? Because nothing, Spider-Man, all that stuff, all those situations, he didn't even want to come for that. You know what I mean? That's
Mm-hmm.
He sent the scrolls, and so that means that this is a life or world ending thing, but it doesn't kind of feel like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. Like they're making it seem like it's a huge deal, but yeah, I don't
No
know.
stakes. There's
Yeah,
no
there's no. It
stakes.
feels like there's no stake in the game, you know. But then they
But
keep
they're
referring.
every MCU TV show hasn't had a big grand reveal until the fourth or fifth, maybe even sixth episode. Loki, it, the first 4 episodes of Loki had no stakes. They were just chasing somebody.
Yeah.
The first 3 or 4 episodes of WandaVision, they had no stakes. She was just living her life. This is just the formula for the MCU TV shows. They don't want you to know what's going on until it happens. The only one that had stakes in the beginning was Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that show was the worst out of all of them.
Yeah.
Even She-Hulk had no stakes
Definitely,
up until
definitely underrated
episode
show.
3 or 4. So
What, the Winter Soldier?
don't engage. Don't engage. Don't engage. Don't engage. Don't engage. Don't engage.
No, there is a lot of stuff that goes down in this first episode. I was like, damn, they did all of this in the first episode. There's a lot of people losing lives in this first episode. So it was pretty impactful, but I still didn't feel like it was crazy. You know what I mean? Like I felt like it was like in a little town things were happening, not on a worldwide, you know what I mean? But it's just the first episode. Like I said, I haven't seen the second one. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I probably am on my take, but yeah, it's so far in the first episode. I enjoyed it. I think it's going to be one of my favorite shows because of the tone.
They're promising some kind of crazy scroll reveal at the end. Not them like Marvel specifically, but all the insiders are like there is actually a big twist at the end. And if it's Rhodey, that's not the twist. That's shocking. So we'll see. Maybe it's Nick Fury again.
So that'd be tight. I put before the show started, me and a couple of the buddies thought about who's going to be the big reveal. I kind of picked Brody because of that he's in every scene in this damn show. So it's like, how are you going to have him in every scene and then not have him change? You know what I mean? So
that's your sleight of hand guy right there.
That's
your look over here. I'm gonna be the big scroll guy, so that everyone else who's over here has been here all along isn't suspected. I think Rhodey's too obvious. Rhodey and Agent Ross are too obvious. I actually think Maria Hill is not the obvious choice. If it was Maria Hill, that'd be a big deal, in my opinion. If it's a different scroll than what we've seen before. The problem with Hill and Fury is we've seen them as scrolls, and that shocking nature we had of them being scrolls is already passed because of Far From Home.
Yeah, and then so I don't want to ruin anything because you haven't seen it yet, but
I'll watch it this week, and I'll catch up to episode 3 as well. This last week I had reading every day. Kind of got relaxed at the end of the day because I have the sun doesn't give me stress, but as us 3 being fathers, we like to have a little bit of hour and a half, 2 hour time at the end of the night. So it's just been not in the cards. I know. Probably should stop watching The Flash again, even though I love it so far, and just switch to Secret Invasion. But man, The Flash is just the first 4 seasons of The Flash are just so good, so good.
Yeah, they are. Season 5,
really good.
Not good.
Yeah, that's where it falls off. I stopped watching it after season 3. I had so much else I was watching, and I was like, this means nothing to me. It's just a good show.
And season 1 was so good.
Season 1 is chef's kiss.
The
only thing about the first 4 seasons was a speedster.
I don't care. It was great.
But they made it all uniquely different.
Mm-hmm.
Up until we got to
Savitar.
No, that was great. That season was great in my opinion.
No, I liked it too. I'm just trying to think of where you're.
The one after that, when they had Godspeed. That's when it got like, okay, we've seen this. This is like Reverse Flash all over again. Yeah. You're muted.
Who's the director of the Flash show? Do you know?
I don't.
I figure there's probably a lot of directors because it's a TV show.
I would think, man, whoever did those first couple seasons should have done the movie, dude, because or at least helped with the storyline, because that storyline was terrible. But I was reading this morning that what's the guy's name who directed the Flash movie? I always say his name weird.
Andre Muschietti.
That guy. He did an interview, or he did something where he was talking about the deleted scenes or deleted stuff that they had. They were talking about Reverse Flash. They were talking about when he took over, there was scenes written in some kind of recordings of a different like bad guy or something like that. And that when he came in, yeah, I thought that was interesting a little bit, but then I thought that's too much in one movie. Like having another villain and having the Dark Flash and having this Flashpoint kind of thing, I think it would just been way too much in a 2 hour or can't remember how long the movie was. But
I mean, we've seen it not be too much. It's not too much in the Flashpoint Paradox movie.
Yeah, but I just think they did a terrible job of like the whole like every time there's an Aquaman, there's Jason Momoa kind of thing. Like it just felt weird. Like they could have just. I felt for some reason I'm like you could have just tweeted us like anytime there's Aquaman, it's in the world, it's Jason Momoa, because I just felt like that would have been better than me wasting 2 hours for a movie. That's pretty much all we got.
That wasn't just the point of the movie.
Yeah,
that was just
I
get it. Scene.
But it's like that's pretty much what we're walking away with, you know. That if there's a Bruce Wayne, it could be anybody. If it's an Aquaman, it's Jason Momoa. You know, that's at the end of it. That's pretty much the message that I got from watching The Flash. That that's what kind of was a bummer. But besides that, anybody got any news? Anything they want to bring up? I mean,
if we're in the DC realm,
yeah,
we could talk about the new casting of Superman. You have what's his name? David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the pictures. Like, I'm not very skeptical. I think both are good cast.
They literally got baby freaking Henry Cavill. Of course, that's skeptical. It's a freaking mini Henry Cavill. That's all he is.
I mean, I think he's got some differences than Henry, but at the same time, I don't think he can do better than Henry. So getting something that's close to him that's okay with me.
He's a baby Henry Cavill. They got him because he looks like Henry Cavill.
You know why he looks like Henry Cavill? Because Henry Cavill is Clark Kent. That's all I got.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. He does look just like Henry Cavill, Matt. Like identical.
Baby Henry Cavill.
I will say that the Lois Lane is a much better casting than Amy Adams. Never was on the Amy Adams train for Lois Lane.
She's a good. Well, no, never mind. So, Cornsweet. Where do I begin with the Cornsweet?
Yes, let's begin.
Well, I mean, at first I was cool with it. Yeah, he looks like a baby. He looks like a baby Henry Cavill. It's fine. Then I saw a tweet that he made, and I'm skeptical now if he has any kind of voice or input whatsoever. It's like baby Henry Cavill, literally. I'm skeptical in the fact that he tweeted out that he loves Henry Cavill's Superman. He loves the dark, gritty Superman that we got from the Snyder Universe. And then he said, but if I'm going to play him, I hope he's happy, bright, more positive outcome, Starboy kind of. I'm like, dude, I don't want a Captain America that can fly. I want Superman. I want the man who, when he needs to show out, he does. Not a man who holds back. The dark, gritty.
Yeah, but I think Superman holds back a lot.
He has to, but that's the point. The dark, gritty Cavill that would just like whoop ass whenever he needed to. He doesn't want that.
I don't think you're gonna like this next Superman movie. Then you're muted again. Come on,
sorry,
get it together.
Not type into the screen. You know what I mean? It's like having barking dogs behind me. You know, I'm trying not to have that happen. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel on either way. I want dark and gritty, but then I do want the classic Superman where he's like the Boy Scout. I think that's gonna be cool. But if you're gonna be building a universe, I don't know if the Boy Scout Superman is gonna be the best direction. I think if you're doing like a standalone,
and the thing is, again, this is why I hope Cornsweet doesn't have much of a say. I hope he's just like kind of casted. You can do both. I told you the material that James Gunn's pulling from, which is All Star Superman. My favorite comic book run, maybe ever, but definitely for Superman. So like, I don't do things. I don't want this Boy Scout. I just want a mix. I want a guy who, when things need to get done, he does them.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, I can be this nice guy, but I don't need to see him saving cats from trees.
So here's where I think this first movie is going to be like very Boy Scout. Like, I feel like we're gonna get the picture perfect Boy Scout version of Superman, and I'm hoping, to Matt's point, that there's some, whether it's learning the truth of Krypton, like something that makes him realize that there's more at stake than just taking care of this planet. And I hope that's where they go to build their universe, because I think DC is going to need to quickly reach outside the Earth to make it have stakes.
Hell no.
I think they're gonna go the pendulum swing. I think with this first movie, they're gonna go there where everything's so positive and neat, and then they're gonna have to pendulum swing to something dark and gritty. And I don't think it works. I don't think
You're
I think
taking when you leave Earth, you're taking out the characters that you're taking out one of the biggest IPs first off, which is Bruce Wayne and all the Bat family.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's already going to be a conflict of interest of like, I know Batman can go to space, but how viable was it to put him in space every single time something happens?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then you're also thinking of more grounded characters, like even the Flash, like everyone that's Aquaman's from Earth. Like the things need to come to Earth.
Isn't
they
the
don't need to be
storyline the new
outside
gods?
of Earth. New gods come to Earth.
That's what I'm saying. Is it's not necessarily
that
outside, but
that isn't the storyline. New gods was that movie was.
That's the theme of the phase.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Gods and
monsters.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Gods and monsters.
But that's metaphorical for gods, Superman, and that level of people, and then monsters is going to be whatever comes through to fight Earth, but it should not leave Earth.
Yeah, I don't think they should leave Earth.
I don't think leave Earth. I think the threat needs to be outside of Earth. Comes to Earth.
That makes perfect sense. Then
no. I think the threat should be on Earth specifically. If you want a Boy Scout Superman, you make him a Boy Scout for the Earth. That's where you get your Boy Scoutness from.
Yes, I agree with that. But I'm thinking as they're building their universe, it's got to be an outside Earth threat that comes to Earth.
Do you think they go Lex Luthor for this new movie coming up? Do you think they go Lex Luthor as being an earthly villain? Or do they
I mean, they have such an easy villain with a Brainiac. Give us a Brainiac that comes to Earth and it's easy.
It's just, I think
the problem is you're starting out with the biggest thing you can go with in Superman, and where do you go from there?
Yeah. Darkseid.
That's not a Superman
villains.
That's not a Superman villain though. You're like you're. This is a Superman film. It needs to be not small per se, a grounded threat that is specifically Superman. That's not anywhere near a crazy. Like first off, if he's gonna be young, he is not talented enough to fight Brainiac and win. I'm sorry. That's the first thing. The second thing is Darkseid.
Cool.
Darkseid is not a Superman specific
he's
person.
A Justice League villain.
Like you have to start I think Lex Luthor is the only place you start with, honestly.
Yeah.
But we've been given Lex Luthor so many times.
Not in the last the Man of Steel didn't bring any Lex Luthors in that were the Nun first off, and then BVS. That wasn't Lex. That was just a madman.
Yeah, that was weird.
His name was Lex Luthor.
It was Lex, but the guy didn't play.
Kevin Spacey.
Lex you and I both know that the difference of a character being a character versus being named a character are very different.
Yeah.
Right? Are you going to call the guy from FF, the new one, Dr. Doom? I'm still not going to. That's just some character they wrote that put the name Dr. Doom on it.
No, that was Dr. Doom.
I'm muting myself the rest of the night.
I'm good.
Yeah. So I do think it's going to be Lex Luthor. It has to be because it's going to show the good Boy Scout boy, the small town family man, and then it's going to show like the corporate corruption in Lex Luthor. And I think that's where they go.
What about this thought? What if they go down like the Smallville path where it's childhood friends that now have to become enemies?
Yeah, the Lex Luthor. They could do that run where maybe he knew him. I don't know, but I don't think they're going to go mega ultra threat because it's too soon, too fast, and I think they're going to try to this time take it slow, so they're not going full speed into a direction. If it doesn't work out in this movie, or it does and it just doesn't hit right, they can still pivot. Where if they go straight into Brainiac or Darkseid, that's too big of a jump to pivot from. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to go low key and add
But
Lex
Lex
Luthor as.
Luthor's—he's not. I don't consider him to be like a super low key villain. Like he's still pretty
Yeah, but he doesn't have like magical
influential.
powers, and he's not. You know what I mean? He's an Earth villain
He's
that.
the anti Bruce Wayne.
You need to understand what this movie is, and I think you're not understanding it. It's a new Superman, a young Superman, a first time we see Superman. Lex is not at the level he needs to be at to be what you're talking about as a threat. He's also new to this world as well now. He doesn't understand Superman yet, therefore he can't counteract him. He doesn't understand technology yet to the scale he would 10 years from this date now. Like you want just to drive in like head first into like peak Superman, which is not what the movie's going to be.
Yeah, I don't. There's no way. No way. I think it's going to be like that learning
Sounds like
curve.
we're gonna get cat saves and
That's my point.
stopping an airplane from
trying to
falling
tell
out
you.
of the earth.
Exactly. I don't watch that, but that's what's going to come to me.
Yeah, we're going to definitely see him save the train. We're going to definitely see him save the plane. You're going to see like a
Look,
dam
up in
or
the
something.
sky.
You know,
They better say that line.
I hope they do. That'd be fire.
Better
But
say it.
I can definitely see that.
I really hope not.
But then it's the same time you can't go gritty with this story unless they're just using the name of.
You can, so again, the thing is, you can go both routes. You can, and where I think if they're gonna go like Boy Scout Superman, is they need to give a non-Boy Scout like villain. So like,
Yeah,
this is like a long shot, but just throw in the dark. Like I think for a first-time Superman villain of a young Superman who's really dark and gritty that can bring that edge to it is Lobo.
Yeah,
bring in Lobo. Like if you want
Lobo.
if you want a small grounded character who's a big enough threat to threaten what's it called? What's the city called?
Metropolis.
Lobo's your guy. He's gonna bring darkness and grittiness to the film while maintaining Superman's Boy Scoutness. Lobo's the guy, if you think about it.
They're not doing Lobo.
I think Lobo's too much of a reach for the outer dimension kind of thing. He's space cowboy style. Like I think that's going to be too much of a.
It would be cool.
It would be cool
with like a flying motorcycle.
I'm going based upon what James Gunn has said, which is I want Lobo and I want him quick. So
I could see that.
James Gunn has said that, and if Momoa has come out and said they're making my dream project, which he's already said his dream project is Lobo, I can see them going straight to Lobo pretty quickly here, and Zatanna. And to be honest with you, if they want to compete with Marvel, they should go for those two characters specifically.
Yeah, but is this movie going to be based where he already knows there's other superheroes, or is this movie going to be based where he just knows that it's just him?
It's a clean slate. It's just him. And Gunn has come out and said they're very far away from casting Bruce, so we're not going to see Bruce anytime soon either.
No, I don't. I hope they wait. See, and that's why I feel like with that being said, I think they take the safe route and they go Lex Luthor, and I think their Lex Luthor is the villain behind the scenes. And I think there's going to be something else. And
what
then
if they give us Lobo, but using drones, and it's Lex Luthor?
That's going to be it for today.
There it is.
So I think Lex Luthor is the most logical step because that opens up the door to other villains like Bizarro, Doomsday. That Lex literally is like what brings people to fight Superman because he can't do it. So like Lex is the only person that makes the most sense in terms of like the big bad. But it'll be groundwork. It's not going to be anything like It's going to be a film where you see Superman like be a Boy Scout and like and then
and then he's
eventually
you're gonna see that. And then when he comes down, he's gonna be like, You know what I mean? He's gonna be. No, I don't think it's gonna be that cheesy, but I do think they're gonna
I
take
think
their
it's gonna be
time.
cheesy.
Really, you think it's gonna be that cheesy?
I think James Gunn has no problem going cheesy. But I think if anyone can make cheesy work, it's James Gunn. He's done it.
I just don't know how you swing that in your universe to like save 4 movies down. He just went from Boy Scout to like a drinking problem. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
how
it's
is it?
easy.
How
They
No, we
say
space
one
it out.
line.
You
They
space it
say
out.
one
Yeah.
line. I've had to hold back my entire time. Now I don't have to hold back. That's it.
True. That is true. I didn't
Easy.
think about that. But all right, well, that was I guess our news for today. We're gonna kick it over to the expert, and who is that? My guy Matt. So Matt's gonna break it down for his expert topic of the day. So what you got, Matt? Floor is yours.
Okay, so as I scroll through TikTok today, I see some interesting things about Across the Spider Verse. But this isn't about Across the Spider Verse. Well, I'll lead to what the question
Okay.
is. So I saw someone say today that Across the Spider Verse is um, disappointing and is not what they went in to see, and that most fans and the everyday person does not want to go see Across the Spider Verse and see what they saw. So what he was referring to is that people
Cliffhanger.
go, no, not the cliffhanger. People go into films that are animated to have nothing but fun and laughs and witty, corny jokes. And my topic, gentlemen, is what is he talking about? Like animated films
This
are
guy's an
a
idiot.
film. Like animated films are a film at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So when he says that, I'm thinking in my head, well, we've had we've had Beauty and the Beast before in the past be nominated for Best Picture. We've had Frozen in the past nominated for Best Picture. What about those things don't scream a serious cinematic film to you? And how disrespectful is it to the artist and people that made this film to think that people just want to go
Extremely
watch a cheesy
disrespectful.
film?
Extremely.
I don't think that's any of it, to be honest with you. I think it's more of a political kind of stance on the movie, because that's what you're bringing up is like this. I've heard on YouTube and like little clips on like Instagram and stuff about people kind of bringing up the same topic.
So real quick before you continue on with that, he's a black gay man. so
Yeah, that's what's weird
I
because
don't think it comes from the aspect of political of any aspect of what the film brings specifically, which we won't get into. But there's a thing in the film that everyone talks about. But I don't think it came from that area. I just think he doesn't know
What's
what
the
he's
thing in
talking
the
about.
film?
there's a sign about just like somebody's beliefs, written on a wall, and it either left, right, center, up and down. It's just someone takes a kind of like a political stance on the topic, but I don't think it drives the storyline. It's just like a thing,
Background kind of
yeah,
thing.
just background thing.
Hmm.
But a lot of people who don't agree or disagree or agree or whatever, some people found problems.
So I
with
mean,
it.
here's the problem with, and it's a big modern day cinematic problem is people are reading into expecting to have these narratives in there, and it doesn't have to be. Like, I love Across the Spider-Verse. I love Into the Spider-Verse because they're good written stories. Not
Yeah.
only that, but you could pause the movie at any second and you have like a cover of a comic book. And that's what they were
dude.
going for. Like they're like, especially in Into the Spider-Verse, like there are specific times where there's like a half a second's pause that's like, pause here, you got a screenshot of a comic book.
Yeah.
And like the second one, it rang so true to me because like as a parent, there was a lot of like parent topics in it. And it was like your kids are gonna grow up like, and what they're doing with the story, what makes it so good is the story is growing up. Miles is growing up, like he's going from a child from the first one who's not tall enough to be Spider-Man to now someone who's tall enough to be Spider-Man, and he's changing and evolving with it.
I think that's great too. I think it also opens up communications with parents and kids. My kids ask me questions about the first movie and I haven't watched the second one, but I've heard nothing but great things about it. It's done. One thing I can tell you this: not going since I haven't seen the movie, I can tell you that the animation and the music on point. Right? Am I wrong?
The music in the first one is better, in my opinion, but the art styles in this one, so good. Why are you squinting?
Matt's giving you the evil eye. I'm not gonna lie. This new soundtrack.
You tell me the first soundtrack isn't. Every song slaps.
No.
In that.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right about that part. Let me clarify that. But I thought you were gonna say is better than this one. No.
So wait,
everything is banger. I think like the actual
disagree.
Written. Hold on. So we have to clarify. I'm talking about like the actual various artists' songs that are Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the actual score, like the written composition of the score, 2 takes it hands down. But the various artists of number 1 is by far better.
No.
Yeah. No. So I haven't seen it, but I've been listening to the soundtrack a lot, and it is a banger soundtrack. So I want to see if all those songs are implicated into the movie. If they are, then I think it's going to be a banger.
I don't feel like they're as implicated as the first one, though.
The first scene where without giving away too much, where Gwen's walking in the bus is really like one of the best songs in the entire animated series of the Spider-Verse that's come out. And it's in the first 5 minutes of the film.
Yeah, I get that. But when I hear Sunflower start, I think of that movie. You know what I mean?
Listen,
I think of Miles.
Sunflower, Wake Up Danger.
No,
dude, Wake Up Danger.
Andrew,
bro.
Andrew is completely discrediting this entire film. The end song on the cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger song is really good.
You will forever remember that song. Yes. Now the score stuff is one thing, right? Because like the spot, is incredible. Like this movie sounds better to me than the last one, and the last one sounded great. It's nothing against the last one. It's just better.
I don't know if there's anything that top What's Up Danger. Like,
dude, What's Up Danger is a big.
And then when they tie in the composition into it,
get the nostalgia out of your head of that song. You love that song because Miles on the side of the building, growing up for the first time on film,
running on the Jordans.
But that's why you like that song. It's not because that song actually is, in my opinion, pretty trash of a song. Just happens to be one of the best parts of the film.
He's just taking shots, Andrew. Don't tell him. Taking it personal.
Okay, so besides the words "What's Up, Danger," "Can't Stop Me Now," give me one line from that song. That's so great.
He says it so fast, I can't remember the words. Something about speedometers and
interesting. So the one scene where he jumps off the side of the building, you just know those words and nothing else because that one.
I know the words. I
don't know off the top of my head. Let me Google it real quick.
There's it talks about.
No, give me a line, not what it talks about. It talks about danger and how I'm gonna face it, and how it can't stop me now.
Come on, but I feel like the music was done better in the first one.
So it's just a disagreement. They're both very good though. They're both
what about the song where Peter Parker dies?
What's the name of the song?
Name it, Andrew.
Give me a second. You put me on the spot
and sing it to me. No, you put yourself on the spot. You brought it up, not me.
And sing it in
Afraid
pitch.
of the Dark. It's Afraid of the Dark.
I'm not scared. That one?
Yes.
Again, okay. Okay.
There's so much meaning behind it.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify what Andrew's trying to say because he's not saying it very well. The music fit the scenes to a T and drew more emotion out of him. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, that
the
makes sense.
The soundtrack as a whole is not better, just song for song, no scenes attached to it. This second one, besides Sunflower, is without a doubt better musically than the last one.
Yeah, because I've been listening to this new one, and it does. If you did tell me it was a Spider-Man soundtrack, I would have still listened to it. It's really good. But
dude, I found myself just turning on the Spider-Man 2099 part.
So good.
It's so good.
I love the Spots. The Spots theme song is incredible. Yeah. I get chills. Like I get.
When does it go to Disney Plus? Because I need to get
my lights. If my lights are off,
Disney Plus.
If my lights are off and that song plays, I'm like looking around trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, that's pretty tight. So if this dude is really coming at that kind of statement, and it's not political, then as a person who hasn't seen the movie, there's no way you can not have fun in this movie. You know what I mean? Unless
So
it's just a depressing movie the whole time.
the movie's not depressing. The movie and it's I wouldn't say it's like it's fun for the stuff that's in there, but it's not like you don't have a threat that is universal shaking. You have a threat that is powerful to the main character, and that's what is the driving motive.
Gotcha.
And it's not like the fabric of time is getting ripped apart. The fabric of somebody's personal life is getting ripped apart, and that's what makes it. It's emotional depth, and that's why it's so good.
Character development. Is it more of a growth? Is it more of a growth movie for like the next one, or is it if that movie came on right now, I could watch it and it'd be totally fine being standalone? You know what I mean?
No, you'd have to watch this one before the next one. This is more of Miles being Miles, like understanding why he is the way he is,
and why he ticks and all that jazz. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
I'm gonna have to go in there.
And again, he's the main character. He's the spotlight. The fact that they have an infinite amount of Spider-Man, and yet you have one character who just clearly stands above everybody else in Miles.
First off, why do you have a knife in your hand?
I don't know. It's a toy knife.
I thought you were getting mad at Matthew, and you were just like, "I'm gonna cut this."
Yeah,
that's one of my sons.
The Infinite Spider-Man thing he just said. It's. I don't know how to like say what I'm trying to say, but like it's supposed to be focused on Miles, so of course he's gonna look better than the rest of them. The same way you watch any film ever, and there's infinite people in the background of New York. The focal point is the person the film's about.
Yeah.
But I think they did that sacrifice of some characters, man. They made Peter be just there in a sense. I know he does like one or two things, but he's just there. They just completely derailed and killed Ben Reilly's character altogether. Like it's just.
I think we'll get more Ben Reilly next.
But my point is like they have to sacrifice some good characters like to do so. They introduce nobody really knew that's explored really in depth because they have to focus on Miles. Like the first film, we got an exploration of Peter B, end of Gwen, and end of Miles. This one we have just pretty much Miles and a very little bit amount of like Hobie Brown and a little bit of Miguel, but like it just there wasn't
a lot of Gwen though.
Got a lot of Gwen, but the Gwen built upon the previous Gwen. And again, when I say a little bit of Hobie, a little bit of Miguel, it's like a little bit.
It was great.
Yeah, but out of a 2.5 hour film, maybe 5 minutes a piece of like any kind of in-depth development of the characters' like motives. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other film, it was clear that we had a character growth moment from Miles, from Peter B, from Gwen, and even from Kingpin. We had like an in-depth character analysis.
Yeah,
of what he does.
Why he ticks.
So, with that being said, I know I'm like tearing the movie apart. I think this one's better than the last one. So.
I do too.
Yeah.
I've
heard a lot of people say that.
Actually, I don't know if I would say it's better. I think it makes the first one better. Like,
yeah,
it's one of those, and I think I've said this probably multiple times, but it's one of those rare movies that it doesn't feel like the sequel is trying to do something way better than the first. It's different, and it's different good, but it takes and respects the first one and enhances it.
That's what's up.
Yeah, the first film definitely you can go back and watch and get more out of it now because of the second.
Mm-hmm.
That's tight. I like movies that do that. I watched. I want to say I watched. No, that's not true. Oh yeah, I did. I watched parts of the first Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, at a buddy's house, and then it just ironically they were watching it because they were going to go watch Two Towers, and I wanted to go, so I went and watched Two Towers, and then when I went back and watched the Fellowship by myself to like really understand it, it made the movie like way better. I felt like if I didn't watch Two Towers, I don't know, it's weird. If I didn't watch Two Towers, I think I wouldn't have fell in love with Lord of the Rings
Oh yeah, I
Mhm.
think
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
the Two Towers is where you start to really get a sense of there's a lot on the line,
Yeah,
because you have the Riders of Rohan who are just getting like mollywopped,
yeah,
and then, and you see there's not one bad, it's one bad with multiple forces,
yeah,
versus like the first one, it's just about getting the fellowship together and their journey. Like if you
yeah,
think about it, like that first book is very similar to the Hobbit in the sense of it's getting the group together. What's the group doing? That's the end.
yeah. But what's weird is like if you don't get hooked in that, you'll never see the benefits of watching the Two Towers. You know what I mean? Because some people probably watch Fellowship of the Ring and was like, "This is whack. I'm not watching this."
Oh
And
yeah,
then
I
you know what I
remember
mean?
people being mad that the last scene was Frodo and Sam getting ready to walk towards
Oh.
Mordor,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and it's like people were mad because they don't understand like what's coming. There's a lot
yeah.
more.
And see, watching Two Towers first, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And I was like, I wanted to know why they here, you know? And they do a pretty good job in Two Towers, kind of showing a little bit, but Two Towers I felt like was just a fight the whole time.
Hmm.
And I went back and watched the movie, like sat down and watched it, and it made me put so much more respect on Fellowship of the Ring and seeing all the crazy shit that took place just to get the show started. So
Not to mention Howard Shore, man, he knocked that music out of the park.
yeah, they don't do that
Like,
anymore, man.
Ain't no Hans Zimmer. So my my hot take when it comes to this is, and we can leave it here and go to the game because time constraints,
Yeah.
but throw it out there. The Hobbit's better than Lord of the Rings.
I think we have to say I'm gonna agree to disagree, but I think it's because when I watched it, it was new to me, and then my age, and then I would say I'm not trying to say because you're younger, you don't know, but when The Hobbit was coming out, I feel like that was new to him. You know what I mean? To Matt,
mhm.
I
but I
was
could
I was like prevalent into films when
no,
especially
like,
when the Two Towers came out specifically.
but how
Uh,
old were you when Two Towers came out?
mm,
Like 6.
I don't think so. I think I was older than that. Because Joe used to watch them all the
Uh,
time.
I was like 11, 13 when Two
Yeah, I
Towers
was the
came
same.
out.
Yeah, I was about to be I was going into high school, or was in eighth grade or something like that. Or
2002, right?
seventh grade. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have been
Yeah,
12.
so about 6 years old.
Yeah.
Boom! Oh, you
Oh,
better than you.
Okay. That's prime age for fantasy film. I don't know what we're talking about here.
I just feel like it's
I just talked
it's
about it
it's.
in
I just feel like it was the new, like, it's like right now when you're going back and watching the Harry Potters, you're like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's because it's like, oh, you weren't there when it's like, you know
We're
what I
not
mean?
getting to the
Different,
game.
way different,
We're not getting to the
way
game.
I
different.
know.
Hold
I
on.
was pulling it out. I
No,
was
no,
pulling
no,
it
no,
out.
no, no. The problem is the opposite for you guys. You guys have such a strong bond with Harry Potter growing up that you can't see the movies for what they are. Because I have no bond to those movies and I can watch them straight away, I can say confidently those movies aren't the greatest movies in the world, especially the first two, if not the
Yeah,
first
but
No,
three.
you like the second one a lot more than you put off.
That
That
doesn't mean
whole
they were good.
Tom Riddle reveal, you loved that. I
That's
watched your
that's
eyes light up.
that's one thing of the entire movie. It's
The Hobbit was good, but I don't think it was fucking Two Towers good. You know what I mean? Like
that's
the
one
two,
that's one film.
I
like
still stand by
That's like
Return
saying
of the
that's like
King
saying
is the
that's
best out
like
of all
saying
three of
that's
them.
like
you like
saying the
Return of the King?
original
I
I
that's
like
like
love
saying
Return
Return
of
of
the
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 King.
it's like
King.
saying the original trilogy of Star Wars is good, but it's not Revenge of the Sith. That doesn't mean the trilogy was better than the other trilogy. It just means that the
I
Revenge of
just
the Sith
feel
is better.
like there was nothing in the Hobbits that got me on the edge of my seat like Two Towers did.
Yeah, the only thing that really, and I know Matt's not gonna like this. The only thing that does The Hobbit wrong for me is there's a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be in there. Like stretching it
Yeah.
into 3 films, you could have made it into 2. You could probably even made it into 1. There was just a lot. There was a lot of filler in there.
Say that for most of the Harry Potters. Say that for about 3 hours of the first 2 Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the game.
See, I said, wait, before we get to the game, I'm not. This is just a quick thing. I saw a TikTok / meme video thing of somebody going, they just confirmed the new Harry Potter HBO show. Um, and the guy goes, if Hermione or Ron or Harry turns to a Puerto Rican, I'm pissed. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, because the guy's Puerto Rican. He's like, they better just keep the same people. He's like, they better not be changing it. And all of a sudden, there's a Dominican person, and he was just going hard in the paint, and it was making me laugh. I was like, man, I need to send this to Andrew because they're going to change it, and it's going to bother Andrew so much.
It wouldn't bother me.
I think it would. I think it would.
I don't think. I'm very excited for a TV show.
Yeah, me too.
Just to see a lot of stuff that was left out.
All right, so let's get into this game.
Okay, so this game is going to be kind of 2 separate games, but it should be pretty good. So the first one, I asked you earlier before we started your favorite game, or what your choice of game to relax is currently. So what I've done is I've partnered with ChatGPT, and we're going to start with Matt. I want you to name 10 ways that you can improve in Call of Duty.
10?
10 ways.
Like,
So I asked ChatGPT,
yeah,
how do I get better at Call of Duty? And so what I want to find out is, based on your knowledge, how accurate it is versus what AI is thrown out.
Okay, so before I answer, are they very specific, or are they almost broad?
They're pretty vague.
Pretty vague.
Like, okay. So I said write it in a 10 step list. So 10 things that you have to do to get better at the game. So I'll give you an example.
That is true.
Because I did one for Rocket League. Because obviously I love Rocket League. So I put, okay, tell me 10 steps to get better at Rocket League. And so it starts 1, master the basics. 2, play regularly. 3, learn from better players. 4, play with teammates.
That's
5,
the first. Okay, hold on. Before you on, that's the first 5 for Call of Duty as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first.
This next one is where it gets like specific, to where I was like, dang, I wasn't expecting this. So 5 is focus on positioning. 6, practice aerial skill. 7, use training packs. 8, analyze replays. 9, play in different game modes. And I'm not going to tell you 10 because it's pretty standard for everyone.
Okay.
But now you kind of have an idea.
Okay. So, I mean, the first 5 are the same, right? Play the game often, or a lot, or whatever.
Okay.
Master the basics.
Familiarize yourself with the game.
Yeah, master the basics. Play with teammates. Also, a big one in Call of Duty. Get familiar with the maps.
Okay.
I'm gonna just like ramble on. You can cut me off whenever. Watch pro players, other players.
Okay.
Watch VODs, or like your own video on for yourself. Learn the meta, on what guns are good, what guns are not. Learn the game mode, which is probably just learning the game in general.
How many does he have so far?
Have good communication.
5.
Good communication. Adjust your sensitivity for your settings. So wherever that entails, that broad general area.
Okay.
Might be it. I can think of.
Okay, it's actually a pretty solid list. So here's what ChatGPT said to get better at Call of Duty. 1, familiarize yourself with the game. Spend time getting to know different game modes, maps, weapons. Understanding game mechanics, features that will give you a solid foundation. 2, don't know if you touched on this one.
That was one. That was like one.
Yeah, so like that was 1. Like
Holy crap.
the whole thing. Yeah, it's pretty intense. 2 is choose your preferred game mode. So determine which game mode you enjoy the most and focus on improving that particular mode, whether it's team deathmatch, domination, search and destroy, or others. Specializing in one game mode can help develop specific strategies and tactics.
Fair enough.
Okay. Makes sense.
3, you said this one, master your weapons. Select a weapon that suits your playstyle and practice using it extensively. Learn its recoil patterns, effective range, reload times. Regularly experiment with different attachments to find what setup works best for you. This is a pretty solid list.
Yeah, it's pretty good, dude.
4, you kind of touch base. You did like a more vague version of this, but it was work on your aim. So good aim is crucial in Call of Duty. Spend time in the game's practice modes or engaging in aim training exercises to improve your accuracy. Adjust your mouse sensitivity or controller settings to find what feels comfortable. And that's kind of like where you tacked that in. Map knowledge, you said this one. Map knowledge and positioning. Learn the layouts of the maps, including common choke points, high traffic areas, and advantageous positions. Knowing the map will give you the edge in predicting enemy movement, flanking, and positioning yourself strategically. You talked about this next one too. Communication and teamwork. Call of Duty often relies on teamwork, especially in objective-based modes. Utilize voice chat or in-game communication systems to coordinate with your teammates, share information, and work together to achieve the objectives. This one you hit too. Watch and learn. Study gameplay videos and streams from skilled players. Pay attention to their strategies, movement patterns, positioning, and decision.
Yes.
This one I don't know if you said, but play regularly. Consistency is the key to improving your skill. Dedicate regular time to playing Call of Duty to build muscle memory, reflexes, and game sense. I lost my spot. The more you play, the better you'll become. Reflect and analyze. You said this one too. After each game, take a moment to reflect on your performance. Identify areas where you excelled and areas where you struggled. Analyze what went wrong and brainstorm ways to improve in future matches. And then 10, stay positive and have fun. Remember the game to enjoy the game and maintain positive mindset. Improvement take time, so don't get discouraged by setbacks or losses. Celebrate your successes and focus on the learning process. So pretty solid, huh? I was shocked.
Yeah.
Steven, what did you say yours was again? I forgot.
Skate 3. That's what I said.
Good luck with this one.
Yeah.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Let's see what it does. All right.
I would have to skate. That's going to be a hard one because it's not like
you picked the wrong game, brother.
I think I would have to say practice regularly because that's going to be that's a staple. That has to be the one. The hardest part of the game is learning controls, is which way to flick the stick, and the map patterns. If you don't skateboard, the game's a little harder because you don't know where the variation of the board's going to be. So like once you find out like how much of a flick to do a kick flip or a heel flip or like a pop shove it, once you learn that and you know how much speed or know how much of a flick you can get, that's when the game gets a little funner. So I would say mastering basics. Damn, that's kind of. And there's 10 of them. Damn.
Some of them are pretty like I would not have thought about that.
I would say that game is big in tutorials. Is it about watching like how to perform tricks and like where and what obstacles to use those tricks? So I would say. I would say watching the tutorials, like really getting into the tutorials, because there's some levels or some stuff you can't do unless you watch them
Mm-hmm.
and actually learn how to do it. And then I would say skate with other people or play with other people, because that's just playing a game of skate gets you better, because that's how you learn tricks. The creator park, I don't know, building different obstacles.
All right, let me read these because these are
That's
cool.
all I have.
These are cool.
That's pretty much it.
So you got practice the basics, learn tricks. Obviously, those two are pretty easy. Control and balance, maintaining control. I'm pretty sure you talked about this, like learning how to land or how to flick the right stick or equivalent to avoid falls. This is where it kind of gets different. So it said, explore the environment. Skate 3 features an expansive open world with numerous spots to skate. Take the time to explore different areas and find spots. Experiment with different lines. This will help you discover new tricks and challenges.
That is true.
This one, I was like, wow, this is a reach. But watch real life skateboard videos. Watching real life skateboard videos or in-game footage can provide inspiration for ideas of new tricks. Study the techniques and style of professional skateboarders to understand the mechanics or nuances of certain moves.
That's understandable, because like I grew up skateboarding, so knowing how tricks are supposed to look, I could, when we play a game of skate, I can easily beat people because they're going for like backflip. You know what I mean? It's like once you learn a backflip, that's it. But when you can kickflip to a nose slide, like to something else, because you know what it looks like and how it works, you definitely get the edge on people. But yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
So then it had play with others, complete challenges, engage in the game's challenges and missions to improve your skills.
Yeah, that's the number one right there.
And then record and review. Take advantage of the game's recording feature to capture your own gameplay.
I forgot about the recording feature.
And then
one of the best too.
Yeah, experiment and be creative. Skateboarding is about self-expression and creativity. Don't be afraid to try new things. Create your own tricks or combine existing ones in unique ways. And then persistence and patience. Skateboarding takes time to practice to be a master.
Oh, Pokemon, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
So that was like the first half of the game. The second half is, and this will be brief because I know we're running low on time. Yeah. So what this is, it's around the same kind of narrative. I'm going to give you guys steps. And as I give them, I want you to tell me what we're trying to learn how to do just by reading the steps.
Okay.
So one of the steps might be like, bring a cat to the trampoline. And then the goal is to guess what it is. And whoever knows or thinks they know what it is, guess.
All right.
So this first one, let's go to step 1. So step 1 is to prepare yourself. Put on a pair of disposable gloves, a mask, and protective clothing to avoid direct contact.
PPE, pretty much, to stay, not getting sick. Yeah.
Any guesses on? And this is a how to, and then do something.
Nope.
So say it again. Say put gloves. What was it?
Yeah. So the first step is called prepare yourself. Put on a pair of disposable gloves, a mask, and protective clothing to avoid direct contact.
That could be like a list of anything. It could be changing the oil in your car. It could be, I would have to say, surgery.
Nope. All right, we'll keep moving on. All right, Matt, you get the next guess. Ventilate the area. Open windows or turn on fans to improve air circulation and reduce the odor.
Oh, I know what it is now.
How to paint your house?
Nope.
Oh, damn. That's what I thought.
All right. So, Steven, you'll get the next guess. Remove solid matter. If there are any solid pieces, use a disposable spoon to scrape and carefully pick them up and place them in plastic bags. Avoid pushing the solid matter back into the floor or spreading it further.
Is it like cleaning up a body?
No.
I don't know.
All right, Matt, you got the next one. Blot excess liquid. Use disposable paper towels or absorbent materials such as cat litter or baking soda to soak up as much liquid as possible.
How to clean up motor oil?
Nope. You guys are getting closer though.
There's
You're
matter.
like on the right track.
So there's matter in it, and I'm fucking.
All right, step 5. So we're halfway through the steps. Apply a cleaning solution. Mix a solution of 1 part bleach and 10 parts water to use commercial disinfectant specifically designed for cleaning bodily fluids.
Dude, it's not a body like that's cleaning up feces.
Nope.
I have no idea. Dude.
How to mop a floor.
Nope. All right. So now we're on step 6. Let it sit. Allow the cleaning solution to sit on the surface for at least 10 minutes. This should help kill any remaining bacteria or viruses.
And this is a job, like someone's job. Like this is what they do.
It's not like, I mean,
how to.
It's just a how to.
Dude, I am drawing a big. Can you say that one again? That step again?
Yeah. Let it sit. Allow the cleaning solution to sit on the surface for at least 10 minutes. This will help kill any remaining bacteria or viruses.
Dude, the matter part is throwing me off.
I'll give you guys another hint. I'm pretty sure this is something that we have all done. Like one point in our lives, we've had to do this.
Bleach your bathtub?
No. All right. Step 7 is clean the area. Use a scrub brush or disposable cloth. Gently scrub the infected area. Pay attention to any crevices or porous surfaces. Clean from the outside toward the center to prevent spreading blank further.
How to clean a stain?
Close. That's pretty close.
On your carpet? How to clean a stain on your carpet?
No. That's all like the same. So this is a blank cleanup step. So you guys have got the cleanup portion of it, but now you're trying to figure out what it is that you're trying to clean up. Okay, step 8, dispose the cleaning materials. Place all used cleaning materials, including gloves and paper towels or cloth, in a plastic bag. Seal it tightly. Properly dispose of the bag in a sealed trash container.
Dude, I am drawing the biggest blank on this shit. So it's not a body because we've never done that.
Nope.
Well, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I've never done that. Let's see. It's not a stain because there's mass. There's
matter.
Like matter. I mean, so there's something you could like touch, and that's not a liquid.
Well, there's also a liquid.
Also liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's also liquid. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm getting. But then there's disease and bacteria. What
Not
the
disease.
hell? Or
bacteria and viruses.
That's what I'm drawing a blank on.
It's definitely not as easy as then just making it seem like.
I think
once I tell you, I think once I tell you, guys are gonna be like, "Oh, that makes perfect sense."
Is it spilling like soda on?
No. So here's step 10: disinfect and deodorize. Apply disinfectant spray and wipe the cleaned area to further eliminate any remaining germs. You can also use baking soda or a commercial deodorize to help neutralize any remaining odors.
Is dog poop? Picking up dog poop.
Dog poop.
Is it poop in general?
Nope.
You've already asked that. You said like step 4.
It is. You guys ready?
Yeah.
How to clean up throw up.
You're a sick man, Andrew. You're a sick man.
Oh my gosh, Andrew, that was actually pretty good. With that, you should do that again, but not throw up. You know what I mean? But like that game was actually pretty fun. That was pretty cool. I like the AI thing that you did though. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. I'm gonna start using that. It was a Chat GPT.
Chat GPT.
I need to start using that more.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, well, let's wrap it up. That me and Matt both took the L on that one because we couldn't figure out how to clean up throw up. I just put paper towels over it. Call my wife. But yeah, for the people who are still here, or if you're coming in later, we appreciate you sticking this far to the end. Like, comment, subscribe anywhere you listen to your podcast, and Twitch, YouTube, and
Instagram.
Facebook. Oh, and Instagram, and then we're on Twitter too. Thanks for everybody on Twitter who liked it.
Did you post my picture yet?
No, you will see it in Twitter after this is over. You'll see the real Spider-Man in all of his glory.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, my kids were asking me, Dad, who's that on your TV screen? Because I think my monitor, and I was like, you don't want to know that guy. But you guys take it easy. Love, peace, and chicken grease. And we might be out if I can find the video, and I did. God bless.